So the fourth Toy Story movie's out. I've finally seen it, and I thought I would review it. I'm not gonna say if this is gonna be the last Toy Story or not, because it's probably not gonna be. We thought 3 was gonna be the last Toy Story, and then 9 years later they made this one. So it's possible in 9 years we'll see a Toy Story 5. But yeah, I'm not gonna say this is gonna be spoiler free exactly either, because I'm probably gonna touch on some minor spoilers, but I'll try and stay away from anything big. On top of that, this review is pretty late in terms of the movie. Like, it's already almost a week after the movie came out, so I'd imagine people who care about spoilers have probably already seen it. But still, I'll try and be pretty spoiler free. But yeah, so this movie was very enjoyable. I had a great time with it. It's probably the funniest Toy Story yet, but that said, I do think this was also the weakest Toy Story yet. It did feel like it took away from the ending of Toy Story 3, in my opinion. I think that this movie kind of undoes some of the hopefulness that Toy Story 3 ends on. Toy Story 3 ends with, obviously, the toys being given to Bonnie, and this hopeful kind of ending of the toys are going to be played with forever now, or well, not forever, but they're going to be played with for a long time, and just things look really bright for them. This movie starts off with Woody being kind of left out from the playtime, and he's kind of on his own sort of thing, and that movie is really about how Woody is kind of a lost toy. He's kind of outlived his usefulness, and that's a really good plot, I think. I just think that it does in a way take away from the great ending that Toy Story 3 had. Like, during Toy Story 3 rewatches, I'm not going to be able to see the ending the same way due to how this one ended, because I'm just going to be like, well, it's kind of sad knowing that Woody doesn't really feel at home, I guess, with this. But that said, the characters introduced were great. There was Forky, there was the 2 stuffed animals played by Key and Peele, there's the Combat Carls, I believe they're called, and there was Duke Kaboom, who was Keanu Reeves, and then Bo Peep came back. And I don't think a single Toy Story movie has introduced characters that weren't fun, that weren't enjoyable. And this movie was the exact same. Every character that was introduced really felt like they were good. There was no character that was badly written. Like Forky, I thought I was going to hate him. Turned out being probably the star of the movie, in my opinion. I think he was the best part of the movie. The stuffed animals were hilarious, played by Key and Peele. Duke Kaboom, was Keanu Reeves, and he was also hilarious. Just all of the characters were really fun to watch, and none of the new characters felt like they took away from the movie. They all felt like they added something very good and unique to the movie. That said, one thing I was disappointed about was how all of the OG characters are kind of put in the back burner. Besides Woody and Buzz, none of the other characters really matter at all, any of the OG characters. And even that said, Buzz his role in this movie is very, very, very small. He's in the movie a lot more than most of the other OG characters, but not by much. And he does feel like his writing was dumbed down to serve as jokes more than the actual plot. Like, I personally thought that most of Buzz's parts in the movie were for a joke and not for a story reason, which was kind of disappointing because Buzz Lightyear is my favorite character in this whole series, so it was kind of disappointing to see him kind of devolve into that sort of character. And if they do a Toy Story 5, which, while Toy Story 3's ending was perfect, I do think this ending kind of feels more like a definitive ending for the series, in my opinion. So I don't know how likely Toy Story 5 will be, but then again, we said the same after 3. So if they do a 5, I hope that they kind of make Buzz more of a smart character like he was in the first 3, and not the joke or caricature of himself that he was like in this. The movie also, like, you could basically, there were 3 main characters in this movie. It was Woody, Bo Peep, and Forky. All of the other characters were kind of there to serve as these 3 characters, to help these 3 characters. That goes for all of the OG characters, for Buzz Lightyear, and for all the new characters. They were all here to help those central 3, I thought, which is fine. I just thought that maybe they could have used the OG characters a little bit more. Like, I think, Ham, Rex, Slinky, and the Potato Heads, I think between the 5 of those characters, they had maybe 6 or 7 lines in the entire movie. and that was a little disappointing. I can't even remember if Slinky said anything besides the line towards the end, which sucked, but I mean, I get it. There was a lot of characters introduced, and if they wanted to rely on the new characters more than the old characters, and we had 3 characters with a lot of those old characters, so it makes sense that they would give a lot of screen time and writing and stuff to the new characters, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I just was a little disappointed at the lack of the old characters. Another thing is that I thought that the setting in this movie, which was the carnival, and there's another couple set pieces that I won't spoil, but I just didn't think they were as interesting or as fun to watch as the set pieces from the first 3. Like, I don't think anything in this movie lived up to Sid's house, or to the Al's Toy Barn, or to the whatever the daycare was called. I can't remember what it was called. Sunnyside, was it in Tree? I just don't think nothing in this movie lived up to the Tree settings from those movies. They were just a little less they were just a little less fun to watch, I guess, but they were still fun, just not as fun. The soundtrack in this movie was superb, and there was actually a lot of like pieces of music in this movie that there were certain pieces of music that were only used in Toy Story 1 or were only used in Toy Story 2 and never really were in any of the other movies, but they were brought back for this, and that really gave me this nostalgia kind of feel. It made me go like, oh my god, they're using those pieces of music that I haven't heard since I was a child watching those other movies for the first time, which was great. It really helped with the whole bringing me into this world feeling, and that's one thing this movie does. It feels like a Toy Story movie. It brings you in this world, despite it being the weakest of the Toy Story movies, and I don't really know if this was a necessary movie. I think I might have been happier if we ended the stuff with Tree. I'm still happy this movie was made. I still had a good time with it. I still laughed the whole way through it, and I don't think that this movie destroys the Toy Story legacy, or I don't think it dampens the Toy Story legacy. It's a welcome addition to the Toy Story franchise, in my opinion, which is all you can kind of ask for. You know, not every Toy Story movie has to be better than the last. Not every Toy Story movie has to be amazing. And this one, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't the best Toy Story movie, but it was still very enjoyable, and I can't wait to watch it again. So I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. But thank you very much for watching. Have you seen Toy Story 4? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And I hope you have an awesome day, and if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks.